Yo, what's up?
Yeah,
I'm nervous.
I'm a little. You're nervous. You seem chill as fuck back there.
I'm nervous, but I'm sleepy.
Attention, all passengers. Please keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times just to ensure your safety. Thank you.
Oh
Gotcha.
no, it's about to start. I hate roller coasters, man. I don't know why you guys convinced me to do this.
Sorry.
All right, I'm back. Hey, what's up?
So you made sure the seatbelts were like tight and stuff, right? What do you mean? What do you mean? Wait.
Wait,
What do you mean?
Oh my
Let
god.
me tell you something. Let me tell you
Hold
something.
me.
What do you mean?
Hold me, chat. Oh, jeez.
Oh man. Wait, how long is this roller coaster though? I hate roller coasters.
I don't know, actually.
Have you ever ran this thing before? Where is
Surely
everyone
there's
else?
no such thing as 2-hour roller coasters, right?
It was a skip day.
What does that
Skip
mean?
day.
Everyone takes off. It's just me.
Oh no, bro.
Okay.
You're reading the whole thing?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Oh!
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm too old for this, man, dude.
My.
Oh, I'm okay.
Wooden roller coasters literally snap up people's necks, man.
That's what I'm thinking about. So why they do that?
I hope it doesn't
here we
break
go.
down or
No, bro,
something.
no.
Oh my god, the drop is coming.
Okay. Oh, here we go.
Oh my god.
Oh, jeez.
Help me. Help me.
Oh
my god, did they go?
Oh my
my
god,
God.
it's so fast.
Oh, dude, I hate this. I
All
hate
right.
this.
Well, we are roller
my
coastering. What are we doing today?
So dumb. Oh, I gotta time someone out in chat for spamming.
I got it.
Oh yeah, you got it. Cool, thank you, Lynn. Sorry. Well, okay, on to the actual announcements. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's episode of the Dojocast. I know last week we said that we would be interviewing Garrett the Carrot, but something came up and he had to bail on us. So no, nothing against him. So today,
No, actually, we bailed on him to go to the theme park.
no, bro.
Yeah,
We
That's
did.
fair. That's totally fair.
We're very busy. We're very busy, men.
we got priorities.
As you can see.
Yeah.
Pardon me. But today we're going to be talking about primarily creating a good character, about story writing, character writing, how to make a compelling character, stuff like that, and whatever we end up talking about other than that. But for those of you who are unaware, we are going to be moving the Dojocast to a new channel, which has 360
Whoa.
subscribers.
Let's go. We're popping
Like
off.
me.
360.
Just like
Oh, like a 10 at
yeah,
360.
like I said at 360.
Oh my god, I get the joke.
I get it now.
Yeah, and like right before the stream started, I was like, "Oh, that's cool," and I didn't want to tell you guys what it was. So that was it.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Worth it.
But
Someone
yeah, so
says
we're
362 now.
Oh no,
well,
guys!
I'm not refreshing
Sorry,
the page because it's beautiful.
ban 2 people.
But yeah, we are going to be moving to this channel. Reasoning being algorithm reasons. We don't want the Dojocast to conflict with the regular videos on the community channel, because then that sends a mixed signal to YouTube's algorithm and kind of hurts both in the process. So we're moving all the Dojocast stuff over to this channel. We will finish today's episode as well as episode 54, which will be this next Saturday. And then on the 19th of July will be the first episode that we do on this channel. So go ahead and subscribe. If we reach 1,000 subscribers, we will do another Minecraft episode.
Yes!
Yeah!
Boy.
So, but
Love
we have
Minecraft.
to reach 1,000 by the time that we do our first stream on this channel. That is the rule.
What about if we reach 1,000 subs, the chat can choose someone who will die in the next episode. You know what I'm saying?
I wonder who that will be.
They can choose who to kill. Up the ante a little bit,
Well, I pinned the link in chat for you all. So, please go subscribe. Tell your friends to subscribe. There's a lot of lovely plays that you can get started with or introduce your friends to. So you didn't even watch.
Hey, there we are.
6. Yeah,
That's
there we
us.
are. There we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got a whole new.
Hey, look at us.
Paint.
Who'd have thought?
Look at us.
Who'd have thought?
All right. Well, first of all, how are you all doing? Oh boy.
Smooth.
Hey,
Oh.
first of all, how you guy?
Yeah. How are all of you?
I mean, I'm okay. I'm not enjoying this permanent fixture into the roller coaster, but otherwise I'm
Yeah,
good. How are Hatena specifically? How are you?
Oh, I'm so good and high energy.
Yes. Oh, he said it.
Yes, sir.
I
Little
got
ball of energy today.
I went 30 hours without sleeping, and I took a 2-hour nap right before this. And
Why would you do
Lunsar had to call me on my cell phone to wake me up because I fell asleep while I was in a Discord voice chat.
Mind you, it was an hour before we got into this call.
Yeah. So I'm still. I mean, like the nap helped, but I'm still a little loopy. I won't lie. But man, insomnia is one hell of a thing.
Damn.
But
So
I
if we,
won't complain. But I might be a little less energetic today.
Dude, like
Damn.
30 minutes in, we're going to ask a tenant to bring something up, and then we're just going to get no response because he's going to be snoring.
No, for real.
He's absolutely
You're
cooked, dude.
You viewers are gonna hear like a thud against the.
Yeah, it might.
Our cart jumps off the rails.
Yeah.
You can't shift the weight that fast.
Oh,
Oh
man.
man. Hyun, where are you?
Oh, I'm right here in the roller coasters, man.
Honestly,
so
dude, he's hallucinating. He's like, I can sense he's here, but I don't see him. His vision's going.
It's just, you feel a little different, right? He feels different. His
I feel
energy
great.
feels
I mean,
different.
this I've never felt better, honestly. This
Alright,
was-
alright.
is a great
Feels
time
like-
we're having today.
Same to me. I don't know what you're trying to insinuate.
My feet are a little cold though.
I was gonna say, like, are you losing blood in your feet? Because I've never seen someone sit like this in a roller coaster. He's so chill.
Yeah, it's okay. If I lose circulation, I'll just eat my own leg again like last time.
True. It is strawberry or banana flavored. Remember? So
Jeez.
that's true.
All right.
Oh man. So what are we talking about today?
Let's talk about I have a fun little intro for us here.
Let's do it.
I have
Oh.
Animate pulled up here.
Oh,
Okay.
I want to start with a very powerful lesson on how to create a very iconic stick figure. Because the issue with stick figures, right, is most of the time... Oh, hang on. Oh my god, this is a little weird. Sorry, my tablet situation is a little...
Just say it, Hatena. Just say
wonky.
it. All stick figures look the same.
They can. They can, because oftentimes they will just end up looking something... Like, oh my god. My tablet situation's a little silly, but I can get my point across. They'll end up looking something like
Chosen
this.
one.
uh-huh.
Chosen one right there.
Well, sure, but who's to say the chosen one? Could be like another iteration of Xiao Xiao.
Xiao Xiao.
Yeah.
Xiao Xiao.
Could be Kick Dude, I think is his name.
Mhm.
So, but you know what a really good silhouette is? Let me add one little detail, and I want you to just tell me who it is.
How's that?
I don't know.
Really?
Squidward. Squidward.
Jade.
Okay, let me try it. Hang on. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. You guys are ruining the experiment. You guys are ruining
Oh,
the
he had a
experiment.
family! Oh my god! He was real to me! I was sold!
Okay, all right. And we got a little guy.
Wait, so it
Yeah.
wasn't Squidward?
It was not Squidward.
What the frick is that?
Beard Ninja! It's Beard Ninja!
It's
Cause
Beard
beard!
Ninja.
Oh my
Yeah! You can't
I
trick
thought it was
me.
like a ponytail.
You can't trick me.
Okay, let's try something maybe a little simpler.
Of course, the guy with the beard. Okay.
Hyun.
Just making sure he's alive. It's hard to tell, man.
Shame.
Fancy
Oh,
pants.
fancy
Fancy
There you
pants.
go. Fancy pants.
I knew it. I just
Wonderful.
didn't.
All right. How about
Chosen one. Shane.
One
Josh
of
out.
these times. One of these times.
I had up.
I know!
Oh,
I know that one. Oh my god.
oh,
It's
who's this guy?
Who's that?
Oh wait.
Chad, do you know?
I think that's Yo-Yo. Wait.
Wait, is it me? Oh my gosh! Thank you.
Who's that?
Oh my god,
Pokemon?
Andre! It just came to me.
There you go.
Whoa!
All right. Well,
So, what are the first lessons in designing an iconic character in general, aside from stick figures, is making a good silhouette, making them so iconic that just from their
Yeah.
silhouette you can tell who they are. For a lot of
like
stick
it.
figures, that can be difficult, but there are a few that can really pull it off very easily. And I feel like those are oftentimes the one that you see a lot of fan art being made of. Those are the ones that kind of really resonate with people. And don't get me wrong, there are some that look kind of the same as all the others that, still get a bunch of fan art because they got a lot of other stuff going for them. But, I mean,
Right.
suffice to say, I think silhouette is very important in making a very visually appealing character. And if you clutter it up too much or you make it too simple, it's not going to have as much staying power.
I agree.
So, like,
100%.
Andre, I mean, he is the big Hammer guy. Aside from Hammer
Yeah.
Todd, but Hammer Todd's silhouette is so different that it doesn't
It is.
matter. Because he's just a little
Yeah.
guy made of balls.
Yo,
Or even, like...
I'm surprised
Hyun.
people still know about Hammer Todd.
I don't know about Hammer Todd.
What? You don't know about Hammer Todd?
It's okay. You're
No, I do
probably
not
Before
know
your
about Hammer
time.
Todd.
Let,
This is
let
before
me,
your
let,
time.
let me pull him up. Let me pull him up.
I'm pretty sure Hammer Todd is older than Lunsar.
It might be.
When was he made?
Shit. 13
I think-
years
Time ago.
So...
Yeah, I was gonna say,
No.
I think Windows XP was the ideal Windows at the
No.
time. It was either made on Vista or Windows
Wait,
XP.
no, I don't. Is it the? Oh,
This
it's this guy.
guy.
Okay, never mind. I know. Okay, I know him. Never mind. I
It
just
was
don't know his
very
name.
small.
I
Hammer
always
Todd. He got beat up. Just dude, why is it
Yeah.
me? What the hell?
Yeah, go get him, get him, get him,
Yeah.
Stone.
What the hell,
Smoking him,
Stone?
dude.
What the fuck is your
That's
deal?
my hammer.
Bruh.
He started working out, dude. Oh man, this is yuck.
Constructed
I forgot
and
about this. This
The
anime.
weapon, which was just a big ass hammer.
Look at him, dude. I respect it. And then he just finds miscellaneous strangers. And he's like, all right, out for all those bullies that bullied me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yo,
God,
3D.
Soxa was on something else.
That's so cool.
Oh man. But anyway, Hammer Todd, very great silhouette. I mean, that's
Yeah.
pretty much all he is. It's just one single silhouette.
just a
But
little
he's
guy.
so unique, especially in this community in RHG.
His little climb.
But let's take someone. Oh, let's see who else. Oh man. Despite their creator being, someone maybe unfavorable, but I feel like their character is so brilliant that you can literally add a rectangle and you'll instantly know who they are.
Which is crazy.
Who is that?
Upia!
Bowie
Or
guy.
Among Us!
Yeah, it could,
Oh, I was
be
gonna
Gilded Guy.
I was about to say Gilded Guy.
Yeah. But then if I go the extra mile and let's say I add the body,
Looking good.
it still could be Gilded Guy.
Yep.
But I think Upia has like that one
yeah, there we go.
two-thing scarf, and then
There you
like
go.
this, just this square stick for a sword.
Yeah.
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 So, but look at how iconic that is.
I love
Like,
it.
there's a reason this character has stuck around for such a long time.
Yeah, that is true.
So, I don't know. What are you guys' favorite stick figures visually? Just if I were to I want your full bias.
Ooh.
What's your favorite stick?
I don't
So
know.
many.
That's really tough. Like as a silhouette, or just like with everything all in general.
I want you to just tell me just how they look in general. Don't overthink it. Who's your favorite stick figure to look at?
That's like I don't know. That's like saying like, what's your favorite food? Like it's like I don't know. Nothing comes to mind first for me.
I'll give you an example. One of my favorites is I'm waiting for him to put his scarf on. There he goes. This little guy.
Yeah, Nazul's the
I
man.
mean, that style, that classic Zeta brand style with the scarf and the super exaggerated pose is like, their poses are 100% silhouette.
Yeah.
So even in animation,
Beautiful.
like not even talking about character design, even just the poses, you can tell who did it.
Yeah.
If I were to stop on any of these, like those extremely bent knees, it's so iconic for this style.
And a scarf is such a unique thing because, like, where did that
Yeah,
even come
no
from?
one
When
did
you
it
think about it,
before.
like it's like a cape, but they're like, oh well, it's a stick figure, so let's just make a smaller cape.
Yeah,
How
they
would that
literally
work?
made it cool. They made it a trend in the community. It's
'cause
so cool.
It doesn't make sense otherwise, but it looks so cool because it is a scarf, but it doesn't feel like, you know, someone's out on a cold, wintry day or something. You know, it feels like a ninja. It's like a different take on a headband almost.
Yeah, kind of. I think that's kind of exactly what it was. They wanted some
Do you
kind of
think,
secondary animation.
Do you think in an alternate universe, if Tenshin Maru and Nazul didn't put a scarf, it'd be some other very popular clothing item on stick figures that's universally
It's like glasses.
It's glasses.
It'd be a tail. They just do the
Honestly,
same thing, a secondary motion thing.
Because their entire brand is style, I think no matter what they would have done, because of how well they would have pulled it off, it would have stuck. I mean, eventually it would have gotten to the point where it is now, where people just add whatever the hell they want onto their stick figures. So scarves would have come into the play eventually. Would they be as frequent? Probably not, but these would, you know, they'd eventually come back.
So cool, dude.
Yeah, well, what about you guys? So what is your favorite stick figure to look at?
I don't know that I have like an outright favorite, but when you ask the question, I think it at least should be mentioned. It's the first thing that came to my mind was Resh's RHG
Oh my god.
Umbrella.
Umbrella.
For some reason, like I wouldn't say outright he's like the number one for me, but when you ask the question, that just came to my mind. So I think it's worth mentioning at the very least. Umbrella, especially in its time, like when the animation was dropped, you watched the whole thing. Let's just put it that way. You watched the whole thing. You didn't even know time was going by. You were just sitting here for the ride.
This is such a revolutionary animation. Like I think it's also the way that Resh like animates Umbrella is also really cool. Like this still holds up.
Oh yeah,
Very
that,
well
that
today.
shot right
silhouette,
there.
That silhouette alone,
Yep.
you know who it is.
I'll never forget that shot.
Yep.
Oh my god.
So cool.
So good. The sound effects too. This was like I feel like the earliest version of like people really going ham for sound effects.
Mhm.
You know, like there's definitely other iterations of it, but like for a big popular revolutionary animation and it having like super clean effects with the music kind of scored with it was just, it had everything. But
So this is one side of character design, is making everything simple, because really all the assets you see here are just the main stick figure along with maybe one sometimes two extra elements to really make them stand out. But you know, a more modern stick figures, oftentimes you can see sticks who just have a lot going on. There is this one image, thank God, that Lunsar sent me a while ago that I have to pull up. It's so funny.
I think I know what it is.
It's so funny. Wait.
I'm ready.
Where was it? Wait, did you share it in the
I'm
sync
bracing.
Discord? Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm bracing
It's
myself.
the one that you called me for.
Yeah, okay. I got it. One sec. Open link. Take a look at this guy.
Oh yeah!
Holy moly!
So-
I feel where he's coming from though. He's like
My
"That's
favorite
great.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
gonna
like
have
there's a part of this that's really cool, but like this was 100% made ironically to make fun of all of the over-designed stick figures.
It's Tsurugi Dark Slasher.
But like Mitsurugi Dark Slasher. I love this image so much. My name is Mitsurugi Dark Slasher. I use an epic sword made by Sitav himself. I can kill 3,000 people in one hit. Personality, kind, shy, cute, epic, awesome. You get the idea.
Kind of shy.
My parents were killed in the war. I learned how
Your parents
well
have
use
to die.
my Wapik powers. Fire, shadows, lightning, kamehame, swords.
Oh boy.
But like this kind of spawned one of my favorite genres of images is just parodying all those.
El Diablo.
El Diablo, the devil stick. Powers.
Crying.
Immortal, teleport, fire element, demon form 2, demon arm, strong.
Is he crying? Is he crying in the background?
I'm sure his parents are dead, right? Does it say somewhere there if his parents died? Oh yeah, I promised you.
Avenge you.
Avenge you, mother.
No, it's mod period R.
R.
Backstory: He was eating demon tacos. Then mother is dead from father. This character not racist because I'm Mexican.
Wait, this is a joke, right? This is a joke entry, right?
This is a joke one, yeah. It's totally.
Okay.
Oh my god! Thank God.
Feel free to laugh at this.
You know what scares me though?
What?
It scares me because there are actual entries like this.
I know.
Yeah,
But like
there
those are most of the
Dojo
time. Those are most of the time from kids.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But like,
I mean,
obviously they're not going to know much better. They're trying to make themselves stand out, and it's
it's
totally fine.
okay.
So long as you're having fun with it, none of this discussion matters. But if you want to learn how to make a more compelling character, I would argue just go for simplicity. There are some cases where not going for simplicity can help, like a lot of House's characters. You know, they're really good character designers, and they actually usually go for a more complicated approach, or not complicated.
Yeah.
They give them a lot more to look at.
Yeah, complex, not necessarily
complex.
complicated, but complex for sure.
Some of their characters.
Yo, House is like a character that's straight up just an unpleasant gradient, but she made it work really good.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
crazy. But like it's crazy because a lot of House's characters are very complex, but like they're like one of the biggest duelists now is Dude, who's just a gray stick figure with a big ass grin.
that's the thing. That's the silhouette is the smile itself. You know.
Yeah, it is true. Taro, same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Taro.
man.
You can pick Taro up from 100 miles away.
For sure. All right, I just pulled up. These aren't stick figures. It's one of House's,
Oh, whoa.
House's things. But like these are all super complicated, but they're objectively good designs. The only thing I would argue is if you make these a silhouette, they become a bit harder to read. But that doesn't make them bad. Like that's not an objective truth. It helps your recognizability.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I honestly like seeing some stick figures that have a bit of complexity to their design. There's nothing wrong with that, but
yeah, absolutely not. Do you know
just
of, like,
to like, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, do you know of a duelist or RHG that's maybe quote unquote over designed but is still really good?
Umbrella.
I would disagree.
A really good example.
Hold on, I need to think about this.
I disagree because Umbrella, if you give him a silhouette and just hand him his umbrella, like that's all you need. Like you don't even need the wings.
True.
I guess.
I mean, but like they assemble.
Is his design more complicated than most other stick figures? Yes. I mean, look at that. Like, of course he is.
Yeah.
There's no argument there. But if you were to make this into a pure silhouette and get rid of all the gradients and extra colors, you still know that's Umbrella.
Yeah. And I could argue, like, when I'm looking at a character, I look at things that have, like, the more that you have to animate, I consider it heavy, right? But as long as the thing is a stationary object that you're kind of just rotating around with the character, it's not that bad. So, right, the umbrella in his hand, that's not that bad to animate and rotate around. The jetpack also is just copying frames and kind of like rotating and moving it along. It's when you have a bunch of those things layered on top of maybe every attack you do has special effects, or you already have multiple secondary movement items. Like let's say they have a scarf and a tail, and now you have these two elements that both have to like have secondary animations to them with your character's every movement. That's when things start to get really bogged down and heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Damn. God, sorry, I hadn't seen that one in a while.
I think Gilded Guy is a good example of complex character design for a stick figure, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I think he kind of popularized the term. I don't know if he's exactly used the term G-stick, but whenever I think of G-stick, I tend to think of Gilded Guy.
Yeah.
Here, I got a beer back real quick. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good.
Okay.
You're good, man.
Give me one
You can
second.
just hop off the roller coaster whenever you want. I think
Yeah,
it's one of those, like,
just
jump off,
push
you
him
know?
off.
I
Just
think
push
it's a
him off.
universal loop time trap or something.
Yeah. I would still say I don't think his design is very complicated. It's still very simple. It's a gold knight with like a rectangle cut out of the helmet and a cape.
Yeah.
Like that's
It's
still
the execution.
like all things
that
considered,
changes it up.
super basic. And if you turned him into a silhouette, you would still know it's him.
It's hard to say because all the really iconic stick figures are just inherently simple,
Mhm.
and anyone who's overly complicated, I don't even remember.
Yeah,
Surprisingly.
it's just
Yeah.
muddy.
But
'Cause
that's
it- 'cause you
exactly
lose
the
silhouette.
idea. That's exactly the point. The more complicated they are, the more you're likely, and as well as everyone else, to forget about them. Unfortunately.
Because
Again,
it's just too much lost in the sauce.
Exactly. And again, that's not to say that complicated characters are bad. It's absolutely not the idea I want to get across. It's making them memorable. If you want good character design, you might want to consider silhouette and simplicity, giving them maybe one or two unique things to make them visually stand out.
Yeah.
It's just if you're giving them a more complicated design, it's a lot harder to pull off generally.
Yeah. And I think that comes into really understanding your character's identity and what they're supposed to be about. Like, you can have multiple things going on, but if it all kind of fits one specific directive, it becomes less washed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Speaking of that, Stone, have you been making characters recently?
Yeah.
Like a
You're
bunch
right.
of characters for people?
So,
Just a few.
for some of you, just maybe. Okay, so some of you might have remembered last episode where I was making people's characters and like making them honorary RHGs. That I never stopped. I've done probably 40 hours since then doing that. And I put up a little screenshot, I think, in the chat for Hatena to show. We are now at 64 original,
my
unique
goodness.
RHG characters that has expanded now into what has been affectionately named the Stones RHG universe. And we have species, we have a planet, we have gods, we have a guardian of the planet. It's way more fleshed out than I ever expected. And I'm absolutely falling in love with the character creation process and keeping a lot of things that we've been talking about already in mind throughout creating all of these very diverse and unique characters. And all I'm given and all I accept is the username. That is it. And then I take a randomly generated color and I create the character from there. So if you ever feel like you can't create a character or all the ideas are done, I promise you can. If I can make 60 plus of them in a week, and they're interesting, they truly are. And I spend a lot, like, even if there's not a lot going on in the actual design of the character, my average pace was 2 per hour. I spend anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, sometimes an hour, on each individual character.
Yeah, I mean,
And
this one's crazy because every single one of these are so unique that if you pulled the silhouette test, and if everyone knew all of these, like if you had a cheat sheet and you were able to cross-reference, you'd probably be able to pull off every single one of them.
Yeah,
there's something visually distinct to separate them apart from each other.
I don't think there's any of these that if you silhouetted would wash out, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's because I follow a couple different rules and I keep them in mind throughout the entire creation process. So identity is really big with me. I feel like when I'm creating the character, I'm kind of like learning about it, and I fabricate different ideas about it as I'm making it to kind of build out the character and what it might be like emotionally, or maybe what happened to it to make it the way that it is. Or in this case, there's certain character types that after I made so many, right, I started realizing, oh, I have a subset of creature type that is clown based. I have a subset of creature type that is alien based, or a subset that looks like they're from the underworld, or a brute, or I call them heavies, like big, like hunk-like characters, right? And that kind of helps if you can make little categories like that as you're going along, and you slowly will find that you can kind of like build something out. And but the weirdest thing is, I will say, one of the most important aspects to the creation process is allowing yourself to be completely creatively free. The vast majority of these characters' full identities came from like a weird brushstroke, or Control Zing something, and something like in the middle of Control Zing something, or just drawing random shapes until something like fit, and my mind was like, wait, that actually looks like this. And then I asked myself a bunch of questions. I'm basically asking questions the whole time. What if he's like this? What if he's holding something? What if he can fly? What if he's floating? What if he walks all weird? And each one of those things kind of like takes your mind on a different path of ideas that you can come up with. But
why don't we zoom into some of these so you can explain
pick
some
one.
specific characters?
Pick anything else, especially on the lower half. They get a lot more complex. I feel like not complex in difficulty of design, but I guess time I spent thinking about them. Just pick one.
Are you able to full screen this antenna or no? It's kind of small.
I can make it bigger. I can also put it in front of us so it's more clear.
Okay.
But then we're kind of
small.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Here, I'll do this for now.
That's not too bad. Yeah.
Sorry, Lou.
Damn,
Wait, yeah, this
and I
is
can kind of break down some.
Okay, at least we get a little bit more of the screen.
So pick one. I'll tell you about them.
Let's zoom into one of them.
Pick. Okay, I think you should start with Ohio. Scroll up a little bit. Ohio Skibbity. Top. I think it's a really perfect example. Okay, so remember, down. Do you have him at the? If you scroll to the bottom again, down, up a little bit. He's at the top right now, right there.
Oh,
he's like right above my head.
Oh, I see that.
You see him? Okay. So remember, all I had to work with was this person's name was Ohio Skibbity. So basically, how you submitted to be a part of this and me making you a character is you just commented on a very specific TikTok post I had and be following me, and then I put you on a list, and I went off to the races, right? So Ohio Skibbity, people are laughing at this because I was like, okay, what are you gonna do with that? That's my only hint. I have to make a character off Ohio Skibbity, right? And the way that I take it is I look to the name to see if it gives me any kind of hints of any ideas at all. So it does not have to make sense. Like I could read it a certain way that is not how it's written at all, but maybe if it triggers something. So I started looking at the name and I was like, Ohio Skibbity, Ohio Ski-Biddy, Ohio Ski Buddy, Ohio Ski Buddy, which again, that maybe doesn't make sense. Doesn't matter. I started thinking maybe he's someone who skis, right? So I gave him 2 skis that he's fashioned into blades, right? So now he's a dual wielding swordsman. And if you're skiing, you're gonna have what comes with skiing. So he has goggles on. Okay, so he's still pretty plain at this point. Maybe I can give him a secondary motion. So I gave him a scarf, right? Skiing, it's all part of the same identity. And then I thought, well, I don't want him just to be a guy that just wields 2 swords, because then it doesn't really fit all that much. So how did I make this special? Well, what is he? He's kind of like a fighter. He's kind of in the mix of things. He's not a tank, he's not necessarily super hyper agile. He's somewhere in the middle. So a fighter, maybe I need to give him a little bit of mobility. So I was like, oh, well, if they're skis, then on the blades, I drew little spots where you put your feet in. So if you can imagine, he's fighting, and then he can throw these down and jump on them and run them and use them like skis. Why not? Right? Because he's a Ohio Ski Buddy, right? And then now I'm like, okay, he's so close. I feel like I've got something here, but something is missing. I need something else. And I love things that have conditions when I'm animating because it makes it more interesting to animate and also visually looks more appealing. So I said, okay, what if he has a passive on these special ski blades that every time he hits a target, they spawn out a bunch of little snowballs. If you imagine, instead of being blood spurts when you hit somebody, it will have blood spurts if you want or whatever, but these snowballs pop out. And after a short delay, they'll then home in and hunt enemies down. So since he's like a fighter, he may not be super mobile, super fast, but now visually it's going to look really cool whenever he's striking and doing a bunch of hits, because you see those little pops of snowballs come out and then they just aimbot themselves at the target every once in a while after a short duration, right? So I'm like, oh, yo, that would be so fun to animate. And keeping that funness idea behind animating it is not only going to drum up a lot more ideas for you when you want to animate it, but also other people who might be looking or inspired by your character, they're going to be like, oh my god, I want to animate that so bad. That sounds like such a fun idea. That's kind of what you want to chase for. And then once I had that done, I was like, that's it. He's done. He's got a really clear identity. He's got a really fun way to animate. He's got this really special thing that makes him unique. And with all that together, it's a done character.
Yeah, I see a lot of people in chat asking right now where they could, check this out and where they could, maybe get their own.
Oh yeah.
I will go get the link real quick.
Oh, I already grabbed the link.
You grabbed the link? Okay.
Posting it in chat right now. We'll also put this in the description. Go over there to Stone's TikTok.
There you go. TikTok. Yeah, and some people were like, well, why'd you do this on TikTok? Originally, I had no plans on streaming any of this process. It was just going to be like, I want to like connect with my community that I'm growing over there. So what's something that I could do, Well, let's make them RHG characters in their honor with their name, right? And then I was like, well, if I'm going to be doing this, I might as well stream it because maybe some people can get some value out of it or be inspired by it. And, now a week later, I've done 3 streams on average, basically per day, for like 6-ish hours a day each day since then, cranking these out. And it's been a lot of fun.
That's absurd. You're absurd.
I know. It's probably, could be documented as some kind of illness, but it's fine.
Oh, man. Well,
I think it's really...
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I was just going to put on a comment that I like the way how when you can first see the stick figure, you already know a little bit of what they can do and what their theme is.
Yes, and that's really important.
Really similar to like Pokemon designs. Like if you look at them,
it is
just based on their color and their shape and like how and just the angles of how sharp they are or how soft they are. You can tell like what kind of Pokemon it is, what their personality is, and even like what kind of powers they have. So yeah, it's really, really good design if you can just instantly tell what they can do just by looking at them.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned that because there's a bit of a test of that we have when we're making these characters. In the process of making 50 characters, the 51st one, I think it was, ended up being like a character usually that I would suggest to not make, which is like the god character where it has an ability that just wins everything every time,
Oh yes.
It usually that's something that makes it uninteresting, not fun. Because you're like, okay, well, how am I supposed to animate against this guy when it's like his ability is he looks at you and you die? It's like, okay, well, now what, right? But I ended up creating a character kind of like that, and shortly after that, made another character that ended up being kind of like a counterpart to him, like a yin and yang type situation, right? And this then made it to where the idea is I'm going to animate all of these in a 1v1 tournament, and we needed to decide how do we do the 1v1s. And what we ended up doing was realizing, okay, what if these 2 god characters aren't in the tournament because it wouldn't be fair, and it's their teams. So one team is going to be, let's just say, Team Hades, and the other team is going to be Team Zeus. So now I need to decide, with all these characters we've already made, who's on what team. And we went together live, going one by one throughout all of the characters that we had made, and decided, based off identity and the thing you were talking about, that when you look at a character, what kind of energy or vibes does it give you? Is it clear on what it's trying to portray as a character? And we were able to, with only, I think, out of I think at the time it was 60 characters, only 3 times did we actually go to a coin flip, where we just literally like, okay, it's a toss-up in the chat, what people feel like.
Okay.
But other than 3 out of 60, people were able to decipher, like, oh, that's definitely Team Hades in this case, and oh, that's definitely Team Zeus, based off of the kind of the vibes that they gave off. So that's really important. The identity and the clarity of the identity is big.
Real quick, I want to say thanks to Dylanator for becoming a member.
Yo, hey Dylan, what's up, buddy?
Hi, Dylan. Good
Let's
friend.
Got a few
Dylan.
donations.
Dylan.
Did we?
Yeah. We got first donation from Yanero saying, hi, Daily RHG. Shout out to Daily RHG. And then we got a $5 dono from Anthony. Says, wait, idea just cooked, but stick figure land, like theme park universal theme.
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm
And
down.
then-
No roller coasters.
Another $5 dono from Anthony that says, okay, then I got a counter question. What if your stick figure is too busy looking?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of already addressed it, but you risk it becoming more forgettable.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
more that you add to it, the more difficult it becomes to remember. So the simpler that you can make that character, the more memorable. It's like a graph. Hang on, let me see if I can build a graph real quick.
Yeah, the solution to that would be take a look at your character and keep pulling things away from it until you're left it in its most simple form that still resonates with your character. You know, if you've already built it out and it looks like insane with all the stuff around it, just keep being like, okay, maybe he doesn't do this. Maybe he doesn't have that anymore. Oh, maybe now I realize I have 3 secondary motion things I have to animate constantly. That's kind of a pain in the butt, and it's washing everything out. Take it down to 1.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys keep going. I'm gonna.
And I think
I feel like-
that's the I think that's the whole point of stick figures too. Is that stick figures are inherently just simple, and I think it plays off of keeping it simple because one is just really simple.
Oh.
It's like one person can just animate a 3-minute stick figure animation, no problem, you know.
Mhm.
And overcomplicating that is just exponential amounts of work when it comes to just animating, and that's for other people too. If they're trying to animate your character, you don't want to make them suffer through animating 6 cloths attached to them and a bunch of stuff like that.
Keep that in mind. The value of what the details you're adding, and if that value is worth the amount of weight in animation it's adding to it. If you feel like, oh man, I forgot I have to new animate this now. Oh, I can't forget. I gotta go back and animate all that. That feeling, your other animators are gonna feel that same way, and it's gonna kind of like bog down the excitement to want to animate that character by feeling that weight. As you know, the further you get in the animation, the more you have to go back and do that thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, Lunsar's back. I just noticed.
Yeah, sorry, I just got back.
Yeah. Oh man.
One sec. This
My
graph
bad.
is confusing me. I'm so tired right now.
I
should
know.
not be
Like
doing
early,
grabs.
like in the beginning, Hatena, you're doing so good, and you were like leading the charge. And in my mind, I was like, I feel like we're on that film Speed with Keanu Reeves, which almost no one here probably knows because they're not old enough. But the premise was he was on this bus and he couldn't go anything slower than 60 miles an hour, or the bus and everyone on it explodes. And I'm like, Hatena, keep talking. You have to keep moving.
All right, I feel like it's actually a bit more like this. So
Yeah.
you have like, if you make just a generic stick figure, it's probably going to be over here. Not very memorable because it's just a stick figure. There's nothing else adding to it. But if you give them like 1 or 2 more things, and suddenly they become very memorable up here.
Mm-hmm.
But then once you start adding too many things, it kind of drops off pretty quickly.
Yeah, diminishing returns, big time.
Very. Anyway.
I think it's like clones, you know? Like if you clone yourself, right? You may have 2 people, but then they both have half of your strength, your overall strength, you know what I'm saying?
Is that how cloning
So if you
works?
have like wait, yeah, isn't that how clones work?
I make like 10 of me, and we're like just like toddler strengths.
So if you have like 10 clones, right? Then they're all, you know, it's pretty cool that you have a bunch of clones, but then they're all kind of weak, you know? It's not just like one main person. Am I making it more complicated? I think I'm making it more complicated.
I think
What?
you made it more complicated. Yeah, I don't understand. You've lost me.
Chad, you understand me, right? You
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Do not get Hyun into stem cell research, please.
Chad, just say yes. Just say you understand.
Yes,
say I'm
dude.
making
No, I
sense.
get it. I'm here with you. We're in the back seat.
Hey, don't
You're
make me time you
sitting-
out.
Yeah, you're sitting really dangerously. It's good. It's good.
All right. Zam asked a question for the cast. How can a character's ability, appearance, and weapons reflect on their personality and story that molded their personality? I think that's more of a question for you.
Wait, what was the question?
What was the question?
It's a loaded question.
Yeah, how can a character's ability appear? Like, how can the stuff that... How can you visually tell what their personality is? I think is kind of the question.
Oh,
Like based on their
interesting.
physical appearance, what
Good
can you tell
question.
about their character?
I think I have a good example about this. Bring up if you want to bring up that character sheet I made. I think there's a character that kind of represents this.
Yeah. 1 second. I gotta pull it up again. Open link.
Well, can I give my take? Well,
Yeah, no. Please go for it.
I think shapes inherently have like their own personality. So like if you think of like a really sharp triangle, right? You think it's sharp. It's kind of it can do damage compared to like a circle, which is very soft and could lead to a more.
Oh my god! Perfect example. 1 second. We'll get back.
Oh, if you have a perfect
Stone
example,
Throne.
go for it.
Yeah, like a more subdued personality. So I think playing with shapes is really important. So if you want like a really angry looking person, then you'll give it a lot of sharp angles, maybe some really strong colors as well, like reds. Compared to someone who is, if you want someone that's a little more subdued, then you use smoother curves, softer colors, stuff like that.
I've got a.
And people do that in animes like a lot. Like if you look at anime character designs, they do that a lot. Oh yeah, this is a good one right here. Dude,
This guy. So he does have sharp angles with his spatula. Pay attention to the line thickness and the brush strokes of those. Like the hat even. Like it feels so bubbly and cartoony that you kind of really get what he's about. So I can get to his spatula.
good old Pymations animation.
Oh yeah, Mr. Pymations. But like the style can also help you so much. Like this is so clearly more of a cartoony style. But if it's more realistic and gritty, then you can kind of imply that maybe the character has more of a serious tone.
I have an example as well. I put it in the screenshots when you're ready, or not in the links.
Yeah, you know, I see. Here we go.
Okay. So this to me is one of the stronger ones for the characters I made. These guys are technically brothers, and you can kind of tell because they have this like same kind of teeth. And if you tell like the guy on the left, if you had to decide which guy is friendly and maybe lovable and soft, and which one is the hard, angry one, it should be pretty clear, right? On the left, Rosk has like a smile to his teeth. His brow or slash eyes is yeah, he's like soft. He's got this like little pat. Yeah, and he's just got this little like tiny pat on his arm. You know, he's got like soft looking leaves behind him. And then on the contrary, his brother is pissed off. He's got this like angry, hunched stance that's really wide. He's got a big barrel and fire. And this is with no real, description. You wouldn't need me to say any of these things. You can kind of pick that up of just what is drawn there, And these guys are supposed to be brothers, so they look quote unquote similar, but it's like night and day, personality wise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great example. Those are very good.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. The posture is very important as well, like how they stand, how they walk, how you just animate them in general is really important.
Oh, you want to know like another perfect contrast?
For what?
Hold on. They're your characters, Hyun. One is
yours.
Oh, that's actually a good example.
Wow.
Yeah, it is a good example. Because you have one who is overall got a much more serious tone.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And then Yo-Yo has a much more playful style, but like one sword is like all those super stiff, ragged edges, and then Yo-Yo's thing is just a circle with a light on it.
Yeah,
like everything about Yo-Yo's thing is playful, and one's is just completely serious because like it's got that green outline, but I'm pretty sure that's like an acid tip, right? Or did I get that wrong?
Yeah. I'd say one and Yo-Yo, like in its very basic sense, they do have a bit of contrast. I also try to tell it through the story as well. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I was gonna say like the main like distinction that like gave it like I was thinking the same thing as Atena, but like Yo-Yo is based off like a more like innocent like pretty much just toy for like children, so it's like more like more lighthearted. 100%. Also their heights too. I think isn't one taller than Yo-Yo?
Oh yeah, and older as well.
Yeah. So it just shows like the gap in maturity, and then also and then like one has a sword and everything, which shows more violence. You know, more of like a aggressive, like I guess personality.
Yeah, you're right.
That's how I thought of it.
Hyun,
Dang.
this has 29 million views.
Light work.
Oh my god.
That's absurd.
What the heck?
It's crazy.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my god, guys, like and subscribe. What the?
Dude, like get this Dojocast is 29 million views. Are you serious?
Whoa!
God, I haven't seen this in so long.
Yeah. Oh.
Good shit. Okay, so we're enjoying it.
I think it's a good example of like it doesn't even have to be the character designs because I mean if it comes to One and Yo-Yo, it's literally just their weapon and just how they're animated in a sense and how their story is told. But
Yeah,
you can
I
still
mean-
tell a clear difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to be able to have a clear silhouette on a still frame, but I mean, we're talking about animation, so obviously it's going to move, so that's going to play a huge role in how that character is portrayed. So I think Yo-Yo and One are like perfect examples for that, because how you animate them, like in any animation they appear in, reflects purely on their personality. One is always more
Yeah.
serious, Yo-Yo is always a little more playful.
Yeah.
I guess perfect. I want to talk about character writing and story writing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I would like to hear your guys' processes because, for those of you who don't know, I'm making a little thing called Gravity. It's a movie, a stick figure movie. But I had to undergo me and a bunch of wonderful writers that I got on the team, wonderful people. We had to pretty much rewrite the entire movie because we didn't know what we were doing. We didn't know how to do it, and then we ended up coming up with a really good and efficient pipeline. But I also learned a lot of really good story writing lessons, character writing lessons. But I want to hear how you guys tackle writing your stories.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
I do.
Not me.
I'll go first. I don't.
Yeah, no, seriously, like, like I'm just terrible. I'm gonna be. I'm not the very best at writing stories or telling a story. I'm always like the one where it's like I just do it because it looks cool.
Well, I would argue,
yeah.
Loonsar, you did actually make a really good story recently.
Oh yeah,
You know-
I think
you know which one it is.
yeah. Is it Freefall?
It is Freefall 3. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is like
one
the
of
only. Like,
one of the coolest things that you did was you added cutscenes in here, like in
Oh,
between
yeah.
songs, and they all had a consistent story. Is it a complex story? No, but it's still a good story that I think, even though a singular message may not be clear, you can pull several good messages from it. And I think
Yeah, no, like
that's-
that.
No, go ahead. I'll let you.
Oh,
talk.
okay. Yeah, sorry.
you're
No, but like this is like probably because like I think this all stemmed from just like ideas in my head. Like after like it just pretty much just came from like years of this project. You know, the first one I never really had a story in mind. I just wanted to do the thing, and then all of a sudden I wanted to like close off with like the whole like dream thing. You know, and then eventually I started like adding on to that. Second one wasn't much different, but you know. Is what it is. And then the third one, that's when I had like the idea of like, what if I made this into kind of like a story? And then that's when like that's when I started to like get into really that like workspace and like flow of like how the order of events happen, and pretty much that's how I just did it. But you know,
Record these?
wait, what'd you say?
Did you do storyboards for the cutscenes, or did you kind of just do it?
I didn't do like necessarily. I mean, I did like Animatic, where I just planned it out in the file, and then
So did you have a solid writing process, or did you just kind of straight ahead?
Like
in animation terms?
Oh, like write it out, like on like a document, like
did
write
you
it out.
Write it out, or did you go straight
No.
to Animatic?
I went straight into Animatic.
Yeah, I guess
see.
probably what most people do in this community so far, because you know, it's stick figure
yeah.
animation. People usually don't take it too seriously, but you know, whenever you want to level up your game, I think writing is probably one of the things that everyone eventually comes to.
Mhm.
Well, I can tell you how I planned my duel with Soapy.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Basically, I just think of all the cool scenes that are in my head, right? Without there's no order. I just think of like what would be a cool thing, like a cool shot, and then I write that down as little bullet points. Just vomit all my ideas into a doc, not in order. And then I would go, and then after I kind of vomit all my cool ideas onto paper, I'd start ordering them into like a timeline. So I'd start ordering the bullet points in a chronological order. Remove things that don't end up working out, start adding things, and then once I have like a general timeline of the animation, then I would start making the animatic. But I think I have a doc still of what I planned.
Yeah, so you're
Kinda look
definitely getting up to that stage where writing is going to become a more and more prominent thing as your projects progress, and the more they
Yeah,
scale.
it could even be like cool one-liners that I think of. I'll just write it down as a bullet point, just like something that would
Yeah.
sound cool.
Yeah.
You just write it down, and then at some point of the animation, I'd put it in.
Sounds like really good like works. like that's not a good idea.
It's,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
exactly
like
the same thing that musicians do as well. Is like, I mean, I do
Oh,
this
really?
myself. If you come up with like a catchy line out of nowhere, you just record yourself singing it or saying the line or whatever, and then maybe eventually you'll figure out what to put it in later.
Yeah, just like whatever comes to your head first, and you'll figure it out later.
Yeah, save everything. Voice memos I find personally very helpful, but you could also have like a quick little notepad
Ooh,
for
voice
writing down
memos.
stuff. A lot of
Yes.
people keep a writing journal for that exact reason.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of fun ways to kind of get all your ideas out onto a page.
Yeah, this is just like a snippet of what it kind of looks like. It's very, it's not organized at all. Like, as in like a official script or anything like that. Because I don't even know how to write scripts. I know there's like a certain format to write scripts and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't need to be complicated. It could just literally be something like that.
Oh my
So this
god!
is one
Whatever.
versus Skid.
Whatever keeps you creatively free. Where you're able to put thoughts down that aren't just nonsense, but in a way that you can kind of write whatever you want and then link them together that makes sense to you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, look at that.
So
Yeah.
that's literally
Whoa.
just you can maybe note out some of the parts. There's a part where it says literally just like bunny comes out of the bushes and then gets stabbed by one. But I did want like a rabbit cooking scene at one point, so I did write that down just randomly, and then I ended up adding it. But yeah, it
I
doesn't
gotta
have to be
do that.
complicated.
I feel like that'll. I feel like it's really helpful.
So I'd like to take you all
Yeah.
through my pipeline, my writing pipeline that I had to kind of navigate and learn myself. And we have since even
Sure.
implemented this into the Alan Becker team. So Alan and
Ooh.
Skim use this formula.
Whoa.
It can vary from project to project depending on, most importantly, dialogue. And if you are I'd say even more importantly than that, if you're working with a larger team or even multiple people, then sometimes a screenplay might help, might be necessary. Making sure you format that correctly. But a good pipeline, honestly, Hyun, you're already pretty good here. Like this is, I'd say, the middle stage in my pipeline. Is like a detail.
Okay.
What we call beats. So these are beats. Like every
Beats,
single action
yes.
that need to happen. Like one beat.
Yes.
Happy birthday, little brother. Thanks, bro. I mean, these are more lines of dialogue, so I would format that a little differently. But everyone's process is different. Nothing's wrong so long as it works. One wakes up suddenly. It's present time. So he's been asleep next to his fire. His eyes look dead and lacks emotion. That's all the information necessary for that one beat of action, that one shot, that one sequence. Next beat, he stokes up the fire and gives off a sigh. Next beat, rustling in the bushes. One looks over. It's literally just action per action bullet points.
Yeah.
Now, I would usually have one stage before this, and I would pull up an example, but I mean, everything that I have would be huge spoilers, and I don't want to do that. But I usually start out with just very rough bullet points that get all of the ideas out onto the paper. So for Gravity, every chapter or scene, whatever you want to call it, there would be a reason for that chapter to exist. There would be a theme. There would be at least a part of the lesson, you know, a stepping stone to get to the final lesson. And I would make sure that I write down what the purpose of that chapter is going to be before I start writing down the bullet points. So that way I don't lose my vision for what it's going to be. And then, you know, of course I'll have it all in my head of how I roughly want it to play out, but then writing it out helps me flesh it out a bit more. But allowing yourself to just do basic bullet points allows you to freely move things around before writing too much information. And then once you have all of the bullet points, like the very basic general idea of what absolutely needs to happen for that chapter, then I would move on to something like this, where I detail it out much further in beats, and I would be much more specific, action per action, what happens, one thing after another, yada yada. And the final stage, or I guess not the final stage, but like, you know, then we would make the rough draft for that chapter, which is writing a more finished and polished version based off of the beats. And usually we would end up just expanding on the dialogue and, you know, converting that into a screenplay or something similar. And then, you know, revisions and revisions and revisions later, then you get the final thing. So the pipelines can be much longer and more messy the more people that get involved. But I have found that to be extremely helpful to break it down into pieces, so that way your story is comprehensive and very well thought out from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's true. And also, I forget things very easily, so that's one of the main reasons I write stuff down as bullet points, because if I don't write it down, odds are I'm going to forget about it and like just never add it into the animation. But I also linked the storyboard sequence of how that entire animation was storyboarded in a sense. Well, it's more of an animatic. But yeah, when it comes to the next stage, which is the animatics, you can keep it super simple, or you can even just animate on top of it. Because I know some people who their animatics literally are just animations.
Yeah.
Yeah, me.
Yeah, which is I think sometimes that does work though, because I mean, if you know what it looks like, you might as well just animate it very roughly.
Yeah.
Everyone's.
But other times they can just be like just still images or just scribbles that just remind you what the scene looks like.
Yeah, there's no rule
It's like-
book for how to properly write or compose a story or animation, but there are helpful tips and guidelines that you can use to help that process. But it's definitely going to be different for everyone. Unless you're working with a team, then it has to kind of follow more. It doesn't have to, but it tends to follow a more industry standard pipeline.
Yeah, I don't know how the industry does it, but I think a lot of people are kind of scared to plan out stories like this because they don't know the proper methods and they get kind of lost. But I think it's just good to, one, just write everything down, and then two, just make super rough placeholders just to remind you what they look like. And that's just, honestly, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's so important to just get your ideas down as soon as possible. Like that is most of it. Once you have that step done, then everything else can become much easier. And the more you do it, the easier it will become over time, and the more you'll refine your own personal pipeline. I do kind of want to get into more of the specifics of writing a good story, because I mean, I can't, show you the Gravity script, but I am so very proud of what we have. And I did learn so much from it. And I would say the number one thing that I would like to see more of in stick figure animations like duels and whatnot is a lesson to be learned. And most of the animations are just, people want to animate something cool because they want to animate something cool. There's nothing wrong with that. But the more that I animate, the more I want to add a lesson and add value to my story, which is, brings me back to Shame's story, which I am now continuing after, I think, 4 years. because I just didn't like where where the story was
Yeah.
originally going. It went in a very nothing direction. But now I have a very solid idea and concept and what the lesson could be. And now every episode is planned to support that lesson in one way or another.
Yes, sir, dude. Especially with the antenna, I love seeing the transformation, or I don't know, I wouldn't say transformation, but like the different direction that you're going, where you're focusing more on the story. Because I remember for a long time back then, you just focused on doing collabs and just animations,
Mm-hmm.
but now you're focusing more on the story and the lore and stuff. So it's really good to see that coming from you.
Yeah, I
I
did.
never thought I'd see the day, you know.
Well, appreciate
grew
it.
up.
I released this long ass Twitter thread.
Oh, did you?
I did. So this is so spoilers, real quick, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, but here's a small section. I'm gonna have to mute it because the music is very
Oh, I
copyrighted.
never saw this.
But here's the animatic for one of the beginning scenes of the Nick James story.
Okay.
But like even my
Ooh
shot
la la.
composition over time has changed. But like the key thing that I can tell you from this short animatic sequence is your shot composition matters. Every single shot has a purpose. There is no shot that doesn't have a reason to be there. And here I'll walk through just exactly what the point of every shot is. So here we have Shame leaving a restaurant with a bagel in hand, eating a bagel. You see him, something
Yeah, that
catches his
looks good.
attention. He looks up into the sky. We're wondering what it is. Very next shot, we get the explanation. That is the tower from the previous episode that he crashed into during his fight with Katiana. And you see some onlookers as well, some people looking up to it. There's a smaller detail that you can't see in frame right now, but there's like there's supposed to be like caution tape near the floor for, you know, like where the glass would be on the floor, all the destructive, like debris, stuff like that. But he just kind of shrugs it off, looks over to the side, and we get like I've updated this to make them look faded to really sell the idea that this is a flashback. Like this isn't actually people there, but you know, you have Shame and Katiana conversing on a bench after the fight. He looks happy. Looks back over here, another memory of them in a cafe. Being happy, they're making up for the fight that they had, and yeah, that's all I've shown so far. But every single shot has a purpose.
Dude, that's another super underrated thing to use is environmental storytelling.
Yes,
Dude, I love environmental storytelling so
Yes.
much.
I used to ignore
and-
it so much because I hate
Yeah,
I hate
yeah.
backgrounds, but like they're so crucial to storytelling sometimes.
Yeah, dude, it's the perfect way to tell a story without any dialogue or any characters even. It's crazy. how
World
effective
building
it
is so important, in especially like duels that take place in Sierra. Like
Oh yeah.
you don't have to really stay 100% accurate to the Sierra lore. It's kind of more there as a blueprint to kind of help you figure out what environment your duel might be in.
Yeah.
But either way, the world building is really important to introduce to the viewer, so you can sell them the right energy, give them the right context for the fight. Otherwise, you're just going to be introducing spots of confusion in bits of your story. And you know, just because you don't want to do it, that's going to cause confusion for your viewers. But that's if you want to focus on more of a story. But, you know, you could just be animating for fun. And again, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. I think well, this is like me playing video games, but I think one of the best video games you can play are the ones that have like zero narration, zero dialogue, and they
Yes.
just tell the story through just the backgrounds and the setting.
Yeah.
And then
I
people
love those.
and then there you see like YouTube videos of people trying to piece together the lore just based on the stuff that's in the background, like little hints that the developer
Dude.
gives you.
You know
So
what
cool.
the perfect example of this, and this might be too old, but Hyun, you might know this. Do you remember the game Myst?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Is that not the perfect
Yeah.
example? Okay, Myst was a game that you dropped into, and they say nothing at all. You're entering the game, your POV as a person, and you just walk around, and there's different things you interact with, random like portraits that you can read that say things. You don't even know what the objective is, like nothing. And it was so like atmospheric the whole time you're experiencing it. But this was like, I mean, maybe like mid '90s popular game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the perfect example of that. Like you just didn't. You're like, what am I doing? There's no instructions.
Yeah.
Is there enemies? I don't know.
I think Gorn is a good example of that, like a more modern game. Super gory, but the environment is so crazy. There's so much.
Of it.
Is that? I don't know. Wait, is that the right game?
I have no idea.
Wait, no, that's not the right. That's not. I forgot the name. Chad, do you know the name of that one super that super gory point? Oh, I forgot what the name was.
We'll get to some questions here soon. By the way, chat. Feel free to leave some questions in chat or in that question bubble up top.
It wasn't Gorn. It was Scorn. It was Scorn. Dude, Scorn is another really good example of that. They don't tell you anything. They just drop you into this crazy, gory looking alien place, and you have to kind of figure out what's going on. And yeah, it's really, really good storytelling, environmental storytelling. Scorn, yeah, that's what it was, dude. The chat is so smart.
They're on it, bro.
Dude.
Even the guns, like the switches, you have like a parasite latched onto you for like half the game for some reason. Yeah, it might be too violent for this.
Yeah,
for
everyone's not watching, but you get the idea. You get the idea.
You get
yeah,
it.
it's so good.
Chad knows.
Chat.
Anyways.
I did have one thing that I wanted to add, kind of for like story building. I feel like your guys' process is genius, and I think that is super valuable. But the thing I used to always struggle with was like just the very beginning, and I feel like a really cool first step is starting at the ending. You know, being like, okay, at the end of this, guy dies. Go. What's the one thing what happened right before he dies? For me, it helps to know what I need to end up at to start, and then going backwards from there, and then bouncing around like, oh, maybe they start here now, and then this is how they get to there. But like having what the final piece is, at least for me, is like a good jumping off point.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Because like, in order to create a really compelling story, you're building up to that ending. That's supposed to be the most satisfying point of the story is how it ends. And you hear about it all the time as well. Like, what people think of a show is based on its ending. So if it has a fantastic ending, then people are going to think very highly of it. And it doesn't even matter, as unfortunate as it is, it doesn't matter what everything before it was. If it ends on a really uncreative and last minute thought up point, then that's what people are going to think about it from now on.
Game of Thrones.
Dude, dude,
never watched it.
Never watched it either.
So many good examples of shows writing themselves into a wall, and then once they're forced to end their season, they just write it in the most disgusting, like the worst way you can end a show, and they just do it just because they have to wrap it up.
Yeah,
but you can tell they have no idea of what the ending's going to be, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, it retroactively ruins all the positive experience you had with the show somehow. It's wild. It's like, all this episode I loved, I hate them now. You stripped it from me. I don't enjoy it now. Now that that this is how the bow is tied at the end. Now it all makes it all worse.
Oh man,
I heard that like I've heard that how Breaking Bad ends is like perfect and like peak TV. But I've never seen it myself.
I love
watch Breaking Bad.
I hear a lot of people praising it. Another one that I watched personally that I enjoyed but was a little disappointed by was House MD. I ended up binging like I think it was like all 6 seasons.
The House is such a good episodic show.
It's
sure.
so good. Like oh my god, and how fast they were pumping those out. That must have been a brutal schedule. But with the limited stuff that they had, besides budget, of course, that show was super successful even for its time. The ending felt a little anticlimactic, but also kind of perfect in a weird way. And I don't want to spoil it for anyone who's watching it. I know it's kind of seeing a resurgence in its fan base. So if anyone's gonna plan on watching it, don't want to spoil it, but please do go watch it. I'd say it's still worth it, even if it's not like the perfect ending. I think it's perfect for who the characters are and what the show kind of represents in its end.
Yeah, I never finished it, but I've just been enjoying it, just watching random episodes here and there.
Yeah, all the
Yeah, that's
clips
really
on YouTube of him being an asshole.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's like anything happens on that show.
Yeah, anything. I love the out of context Twitter account, because like now that I've seen every episode, I understand the context. But like to anyone who hasn't seen a single episode, it looks like a crazy show. Anyway, I saw a couple questions. I want to address one from Rage real quick because they asked, my last question is, can someone make a YouTube series of Sierra so I can learn about it without reading? Well, boy, do I have news for you. A tour around Sierra, Dojo Tools Lore. These are official videos from the dojo.
We do have it already, although it's unfinished. But
yeah, well, hopefully maybe that will change one day. We'll see.
Yeah, so these are like a few minute snippets of each region, and they kind of give you like a giant lore dump of each place, and we try to make it interesting for each area. So if you don't know anything about Sierra, this is probably the best place to start, is to just watch this entire playlist.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I definitely revisited this for Aether 2.0, since that's where my next video takes place in.
Oh,
So
nice attendant.
But I'm making some creative changes to what it's gonna look like.
Dude, I want to see them. I want to see them for sure.
Like, its whole point is it's supposed to be like all high-tech, super LED bright lights. But like, I wanted to add some nature into the environment in order to tell the story.
Yeah, why not?
Tell how I want to tell it. So I think that's kind of the beautiful thing about Sierra, is like, it's not very strict. You don't have to follow everything here. These are all people's interpretations of what it could be.
Yes.
And whatever you need the world to be, it can be that. And you don't even have to use the world of Sierra if you want to use something else.
Oh yeah.
So
I'm so glad you understand that, because a lot of people don't.
Oh yeah, no. So many people don't understand that. They're like, I have to do so much research into Sierra. I'm like, no, you don't. It is a blueprint if you want it.
Yeah.
So it's more of a guide, not even a blueprint. I mean, if you want to be like super accurate to the lore, then you can be, but you don't have to be. So,
It's a suggestion.
Another good question that I saw that I wanted to talk about was by Zam, question for the cast. How can you have the audience feel engrossed, interested, and engaged with a character? So now we're talking about character writing, which was kind of the last thing I wanted to touch on. So we've talked about designing good characters and writing a good story. Now there's the in-between, the bread and butter, which is creating a compelling character. And I would say...
Can I say it?
Go for it.
You need to have... Well, actually, no, you go ahead.
I was... No, you go. Now I want to know what you were going to say.
No, you go. No.
You gotta come
I
there,
will
bro,
say...
for that.
I know that Dr. Gregory House from House MD is a character that some people don't understand, but a lot of people really like him as a character, even though he is just an asshole and everyone would hate him if they ever met him. But he's such a well-written character. It's such a careful line that they had to tread. But it's because they gave him huge flaws. And that is something that's so important in writing a really good character. Because if you write a perfect character who has nothing to improve about themselves, then that story suddenly becomes so boring. If they don't have anything to improve from themselves, then there's no character arc. There's no journey that they can have that will have any impact to the character, and that's going to reflect on the viewer's experience. But even like Dr. House, for the most part, doesn't really change. He has some bits of character improve, or he has some character arcs throughout the show, but overall he does stay the same person. There are some really strong ones though that really keep you coming back and wanting more. I'm trying to think of really good stick figure examples. None are coming to me at the moment, But I think that's something I overall want to see more of, is just flaws in characters. Especially if you're wanting to write a more compelling story, make sure that the character, there's something wrong with them. Like, they could still be a good character. Like, they don't have to be evil flawed. They can be like Tony Stark, for example. Like, he used to be very, like, you know, pre Avengers Endgame, he was very self-centered, selfish, self-rewarding. You know, everything was about him, and, you know, always having a way out and stuff like that. But he was a compelling character because ultimately he was good. In his first movie, he had a very big character arc where he went from, you know, selling arms and then not wanting to sell arms, instead becoming the arms himself to prevent, you know, future conflict, war, and violence. So, but
speaking of that, Thanos too. Like, even though he's a villain,
he's so well written.
Oh yeah, because like he makes sacrifices, and even though he's doing something that is like just diabolical, he has reasons of why he's doing it, and it actually makes sense.
Yeah,
and he actually makes huge sacrifices himself to achieve that goal. But
100%.
There's a huge reason why there's a Team Thanos in the first place, and why it's so big. It's why it's so big.
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's an important distinction, at least until like the second half of Endgame. Thanos is not a villain; he is the antagonist, and that is an important distinction to make, because the antagonist is the character who the protagonist, your main character that you follow through the story, is who they are opposing. It doesn't necessarily make them bad or evil, because your protagonist could be evil and the antagonist could be like a superhero. But because we're seeing the story in the perspective of the villain, we're kind of rooting for them in a weird way. And that makes the hero technically the antagonist. Which, you know, I think that's kind of the same situation you see with Dr. House. Like, if you were to if someone were to write that story in the perspective of any of Dr. House's patients, Dr. House would instantly become the villain or the antagonist. But because we're watching the show from his perspective, he's the one that you're rooting for. You always want him to get the last word in, even though he is an asshole.
Yeah, seeing the pendulum swing on a character is so interesting. Like, one of my favorites is Piccolo. He goes from an alien villain monster
to
a loving stepdad.
No, seriously. Literally, like, evil to nice.
Yep.
To an aura farmer that gets
Yo, for real though.
I love Piccolo though. Piccolo's
He's
awesome.
the best, man.
But yeah, so if you're making a character and you want to make them interesting, you want to make them relatable, and the only way to make them relatable is to give them flaws, because everyone has flaws. Like, literally everybody has flaws, and that makes your character relatable, and then in turn that makes them likable, whoever they are, if they're good guys or bad guys.
Yeah, and when you can kind of like flesh out a certain flaw, like, let's just say you just start with one flaw. If you ask questions about that, it can help build your character out. Like, if that's their flaw, why do they have that flaw? You know, and that's where you can, answering those questions, you can start building it out that way.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's so difficult earlier on in the process of creation, and you can want to just skip all the boring story writing stuff early on and jump right into the fun animation part where you do get to make all the cool graphics. But if you're wanting to focus on a better story, then you kind of need to put more focus earlier on into who the character is, what their backstory is. Don't tell, I'd say don't tell the audience what the backstory is from the very beginning, unless it's crucial to the story. You know, kind of, you can use it as a tool to hint as the story goes on about, you know, who they are, what they've become, what they end up becoming throughout the story.
True character arcs, dude.
Yeah, character arcs.
Swing the pendulum.
Writing is such. I hate writing personally, but it's so important if you want to make a good story.
That's actually
this
so
happens in like animes, but like you always have the most annoying, disgusting bully like in the first episode of a series. And then they just they just have like the biggest character arc, and everyone just loves them at the end because they just like, oh my god, I love that. I love that.
Straight up like Bakugo.
You know what my favorite bully turned good guy is in Alpha Fiction?
What?
It's so stupid, but it's Buford from Phineas and Ferb. He is such an anti-bully. Like, he has bully characteristics, but he's such a fucking weirdo. But he's so lovable.
Oh yeah.
He's like meanly funny.
Vegeta.
Yeah.
Vegeta's
Vegeta,
But
yeah.
he's not even mean. He's just like, you know, he talks a big game and rarely acts on it. Like, his best friend is Baljeet, the nerd.
Yeah. Completely breaks that like
Yeah.
stereotype.
I love it. It's so brilliant. All right, I'm gonna read through some of the questions, unless you guys want to say anything else.
Anything
there was
else?
A donation from AxeJag. Says, if you guys ever watch Kung Fu Hustle, won't spoil it, but the plot centers around a guy who became a gangster to becoming a hero. Yeah, I watched Kung Fu Hustle. It's a silly movie, but yeah, it does have a good character arc as well. Do you like that?
Molus Animates asks, any tips on overcoming mental blocks or getting back the fun when working halfway through your projects, be it designing characters, writing, etc.?
I'd say here, I'll jump in real quick because like I learned this from one of my friends. Do the part that like like I've seen them do this. They say like do the part that you know how you want to pull off, and then like go in that order, like pretty much what you're most confident in writing first, and then go down the list and like what you're least confident in writing the first, because then that's how you have the most fun, and that's what drives the most motivation to actually finish what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Pardon me. Sorry. I mean, I think it's different for everyone overall.
Well, yeah.
Personally, I like bouncing between projects because if I just focus on one project for months until it's done, then I'm going to burn myself out a lot faster. But if I give myself more mediums to experiment with and have fun with, and more stories to write and tell, then I end up being much more invested in all of them overall. Sure, they take a lot longer to produce because you're working on multiple things at the same time, but I find it more creatively fulfilling, and it keeps my creative juices flowing.
Flowing.
I mean, for me, sometimes when you're in the middle of a project and you just lose steam on it, it's not fun, and there's nothing wrong with taking a break, but there are also times where you just have to accept that you have to grind it out sometimes.
Yeah.
So just if you really want to just continue doing it without, and like you don't feel like doing it, sometimes it's good to just set a schedule and just give yourself really small goals to eat away at the project a little bit until you get over the hump, and then get back into it.
Yeah. 100%. I mean, honestly, you can even, if you find yourself up to that point, just start with opening your software and maybe working on one frame. Yeah. Work on one frame.
I literally have that goal. I have a goal of opening up Flash. Like, that's my goal, and if I complete it, that's a win for me. And then if I make one frame, it's like an extra credit.
Yeah.
But then, the next day, go a step further. Say, okay, do 2 frames. And then the next day, do 4 frames.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, what I have found to be very helpful personally, I have a little mini whiteboard that I bought. And I'll write down all of my to-dos for the day, all my goals. And I'll try to keep them realistic. Some days I'll be ambitious if I want to be, if I feel more motivated and inspired. But oftentimes I'll give myself just a few things, so that way I can at least get my brain thinking about it, and then when I cross them off or erase them from the whiteboard, it feels so satisfying just to make that one action. Just even small little reward systems for yourself like that, because like I don't really get anything from that other than writing and erasing stuff from a whiteboard, but for some reason that's satisfying enough for me. So
That sounds satisfying.
Oh yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Like I didn't know how I'd feel about it, but I've been using it for like 2 months now, and I love it. It is a game changer for my productivity.
That's great.
Pardon me. I mean, Stone, do you have anything you'd like to input?
I mean, my thing is kind of specific because I've been focusing on creating these characters, right? but for me, I've tried to get comfortable in the uncomfortability of not knowing what to do. And what I do as like the physical representation of that is I will sit there and I have nothing in my brain for what I'm going to do next, and I'll just start scribbling. Like I'll just start making shapes, and like it's that uncomfortability. It's like instead of doing nothing, that uncomfortability of not knowing any direction that I have at all, I just sit there and kind of like scribble it out, and it's getting some kind of like something is coming out of me, and even it's just random poses, squares, little tornadoes and swirls. I find that a lot of my best ideas come from exiting that uncomfortability through these random little spurts of creativity from even accidents. So just I'm very physical. I have to be doing something with it to like get my brain to jolt in a direction. So that helps me. It's really, really specific, but I found that is like my number one tool in making. I have to make like 100 of these now. I've made 65, and I think I have to go to 100. And the further I've gone in the list, I've actually feel more confident going on to the next character than I did, I think, with the first 20. So, and I thought it was going to be the opposite. I was going to get more and more diminished and more like there's just no way. But now that I feel kind of at home and in that uncomfortable, massive blank stage with just a colored circle, I'm like, it's going to be fine. I'm going to figure it out. I know this. I've done this. I just need to start moving some stuff around. Start drawing some stuff. Don't be afraid to just scribble random thoughts out, because you never know what's going to manifest from it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, voice memos.
Very nice.
Yeah, exactly. Voice memos is a perfect verbal example of that. You're just like, I don't know, I really like this color purple is really cool. I think just don't forget about this color. Like that's something I would write verbal, which is so nonsensical, but it might actually be something when you get stuck and you're sitting down and you're trying to write your story. You're like, oh yeah, maybe he has a purple cape, and it's this specific thing. You never know what's going to kind of grab you and pull you somewhere.
It's like a physical mental note.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we got a question from Rojaki. How think make a character awesome and or cool?
Real.
Just I don't know. Just do something. The reason the way I came up with my character, I just put a hat on it, and then just from there I just did whatever.
Genuinely.
And now he's worldwide famous.
Just make your character whatever you are interested in. Don't overthink it. If you overthink it too much, then it doesn't become fun.
Mm-hmm.
It becomes more of a hassle, and then you end up, worrying too much about the smaller details that don't have any meaning, or they don't need to have meaning. You can make them have meaning later. I mean, if in this community, like we're not talking in the industry sense. Obviously, if you're writing a character, they need to have meaning. But if you want to write a more meaningful story, then maybe that's more of an in-depth discussion for yourself. But overall, if you want to make a fun character, make them fun for you. And then if you enjoy animating them or drawing them, then it's going to shine through. People can tell if you're having fun making what you're making. So.
Yeah. I mean, even this rainbow hat, the only reason why it's here is because I figured out how to use gradients. And then right after I learned how to use gradients, I learned about the default rainbow gradient in the color palette. I'm like, yo, this is the coolest thing ever. So I just started using it.
It's
and now I have it 20 years later. I still have it on my head.
Yes.
Forever engraved.
Yeah, my
trapped.
My avatar used to be more complicated, but I just hated drawing it. But I noticed that I just really liked drawing this simple stick figure with just my usual face style. And now it's just me, because I enjoy drawing it, and I didn't overthink it. I stopped overthinking what I look like.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, let me find more questions. If y'all have any questions, feel free to drop them in that questions bubble up there.
Mr. Chistera donated 50 clips. I don't know what currency that is.
Awesome. I love Twitch.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Somebody asked, how do I introduce my character?
Depends on what you're introducing them into. Like if you are you
It
introducing
could be
them
really
into
small.
a duel, your own little story, collab part?
It doesn't have to be big. You
Yeah.
know, I know it's vague, but like you could be something small. Like I have an example of an idea I have for the character I brought up earlier, Rosk, the one that was next to the Doot McNewt, the one that I gave an example between like the personality types. He's a character that has like this bubbly, soft personality to him, and and he has this little pet, right? A short animation that could describe him is he's like petting a plant, and then someone walks up and kicks his little pet that he has, and then you see him just like Hulk out and toss his weapon in a rage, right? And then go back to like picking him up and petting the plant, you know? Could be 10 seconds long. It illustrates kind of like his abilities, powers, personality, and overall vibe. It doesn't, you know, you can do a long, drawn out big thing, but if you just want to get your fingers wet, you know, and get the process rolling, just do something like that. And while working on a bigger picture or a bigger full-fledged thing, it doesn't have to be massive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it doesn't even have to be an animation. You can just draw your character and then just post it.
That too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever is going to creatively fulfill you in any way, just go for that. Mr. Guy asks, I'm currently making a duelist demo that's supposed to look as polished as possible, but what do you guys look forward to when there is a duelist demo? Story, action, etc. I personally look forward to whatever you're focused on in the demo, in your story, or whether you're more focused on the action, whether you're more focused on the characters or the effects and whatnot. Because I can tell, everyone can tell what you are more focused on, and I like seeing what you're focused on because I can tell you had fun.
I like to look for clarity of what the character's ability is. Like if I'm looking at it from an animation standpoint of like, oh, maybe I want to do a duel against this person, I want to be at the end of that demo, be like, okay, I understand what that character is all about and what they do. And now that I know that, I can, I'm really excited because I think now I want to animate my character versus that character's strengths, because I think it'll be really interesting to push those two things together. I don't want the demo to end to be like, wait, what was he? What does he do? I saw he was quick, and maybe there was fire ? Or something. You know, if I leave like with more questions than anything at the end of it, then I feel like the demo didn't do its job well. If at the end of it you're like, oh, that was sick, he can, I don't know, you know, he has a staff that extends really far, you know, something simple like that. I'm like, okay, I get it. I know what he's doing.
Yeah. I personally like to see all that plus a little bit of lore sprinkled in, what their personality is, if they're like a little evil or if they're good. They have personality, like their backstory a little bit, something that hints at a little bit of lore. I get invested into that a lot.
Yeah.
Pardon me. Ivory Dice asks, what do you hate most about writing, and what did you try to overcome? Yeah, I feel like that's...
I don't like writing, in like, period.
Yeah, I think most animators don't like writing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's why they're not writers. They're animators.
Yeah.
I hate reading, too.
Oh, I hate...
Yeah.
Oh, me
my
too,
God.
dude.
Oh, my
I hate
gosh.
reading.
Me.
Yeah.
The amount of times I'll see like a big block of text and be like, and read like the first 5 words and be like, nah, I don't read all that.
Yeah, big block of text is like my biggest turn away. I can't.
Yeah.
I think what made it easier for me with Gravity especially, and, you know, now Shame Story, is breaking it down into steps and pieces. Because, I mean, writing a movie is no easy task. It's going to take a long time to make sure it's good and it's fully written. But you don't want to rush through it just because you don't like it, because then that's going to reflect in animation and it's going to start falling apart more and more as production progresses. So the more you can break it up into steps that work for you, kind of like what we discussed earlier with bullet points, beats, and rough draft, and then revisions, even if you deviate from that, whatever process that breaks it down into fewer steps that makes it more clear and easier to manage, go for that. It's not going to be fun if you don't like it. Like, it's one of those things that I think most animators hate doing. But if you're if you want to tell a good story, thinking about it very thoroughly beforehand does become crucial.
Yep.
So
It's definitely not for everyone.
yeah, definitely not. I don't know. What do you guys hate most about writing?
All of it.
Yeah, if I had to choose a specific thing, it's probably the rough draft part because, like, in my mind, I know it's not the final thing, and it's still the longest part of the writing stage.
I just think though, hey, it's just coming up with ideas and also making sure they're not like unoriginal, or make sure they are original. Because like, there's like a lot of times where like people are critiques, so it's like,
Oh yeah,
they're
everyone's a
critics.
critic online.
Yeah, so it's like, like if I do like one slight bad like writing thing, it's like, what are you doing? Like, are you serious? To try.
That also depends.
Like, I don't know what I'm doing.
That depends on how seriously you're taking the tone as well. Like if it's a comedy, you can get away with so much more. It's so much easier to write a comedy.
That is true.
If you want to write something more serious, it's so hard to make it feel natural.
That's why
Just remember. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, that's why I think I'll just stick to comedic writing. Like, I don't think I'll ever do anything serious.
Yeah, dude. Well, this is what I always think. You know, if you want it to be funny for your character, kill their parents. You know, but listen, if you want to make something serious, kill their parents.
Kill both of the parents.
Make them kill their parents.
It's either way. If it's funny, kill the parents. If it's not funny, you're trying to be serious, kill the parents. But
if you want to do comedy, then just have the mother take the character's iPod away.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ground them a bit. You know? And then, maybe they kill their parents because of it. Who knows? Take it from there.
Genius.
Oh, interesting. Rage Anims asks, this is not Beyond Rage, but they asked, saw some people mention AI in chat. I feel like it's worth asking. How do you feel about people using AI to make characters or animate for them? Do you think there are lines when it is and isn't okay?
Ooh. I think in the sense if you need help thinking of ideas,
something to stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've done it before too. Like if I'm looking for suggestions, sometimes I'll ask GPT like, "Oh, can you give me some suggestions?" And then they'll write it down and be like, "Oh, those are pretty good."
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. The only part where it starts to become an issue is when you start using it to help
like do your work
in the creative process of like actually making the visual aspect of it.
I have thought about this so much. I just want to. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm about to
go for it.
Oh no, go ahead.
AI can be a good tool, but it is not meant to replace any creative stage because AI is not creative. It is transformative to a degree, but it's definitely not creative. It can help you stir up your ideas, but you're ultimately going to be the person behind the pen. But if you're in the position where you're starting to make the AI create the animation for you, then at that point you're not creating anything.
Yeah.
You're letting a robot take someone like a bundle of other people's work and Frankenstein that into something that fits your prompts and ideas. And maybe even those ideas come fully from ChatGPT or other AI or whatever. But it is a good tool to use to help the process of creativity. That is what any good tool does. And I mean, it's definitely shaken up the industry and it has taken jobs, but I think over time we're going to get regulations again towards AI in the creative field that are going to allow it to be used to assist certain developments and production pipelines. I'm trying to string together
Yeah.
words, but
Yeah.
you get what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Son.
Yeah.
Let it assist you. Don't let it subsidize you.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah. If it was so funny at VidCon, there were so many panels about AI and so many people talking about AI.
Yeah.
And I noticed not only were there like max 10 people in each of those panels in a huge room, which I thought was really funny, but all of those people leading those panels and pitching their ideas and trying to promote AI were businessmen first and creatives not even second. They weren't creative
100%.
people. Because what those people think about the creative space is they think it's just an entire inconvenience to produce anything creative. But
Yeah, where's the money?
Yeah, they only care about the money. They're like, how can this be made easier for these people? Let's see what these creatives think about it. But that's not why we create. We don't create so we can push something out there. We create because we enjoy the process. That's why people have been making art and music for tens of thousands of years, is because they enjoy it. They don't, wish they want to make it easier. Sure, there are some parts that every artist of any medium would want to make easier. Like, I hate doing backgrounds, but I refuse to let AI generate it for me because that's pathetic and it's ripping from other people's work and Frankensteining it for me. But
I'm so dumb, dude. Caveman, not Walt Lambo. Caveman. Caveman, pet wall.
Yeah, I think it's just there's just a severe if you genuinely think AI is a replacement for anything creative, then you completely miss the idea of being creative in the first place.
Yeah, defeats the purpose, the entire purpose of it in the first place.
I would agree.
Yep, and I know I have extreme faith that the consumers will see and understand that AI isn't creative, and that's not the best form of entertainment. So it's definitely the Wild West right now, but I have faith that this AI fad will eventually fade out and we'll stop seeing all this slop of AI content. People are going to get tired. People are already tired of it, and they're beginning to, people are smart. They're able to piece together what is and isn't AI. It's getting more difficult for sure. There's no arguing that, but down to the core, it can be very easy to tell if something is AI. So, anyway,
we got a big dono, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say.
go for it.
Shift Block.
Sorry.
Shift Blocks donated $50
Wow!
USDs.
That's a lot of rock.
They ask, how can I get my story to get traction? I choose to go. I choose to go the comic route because I like to draw more than animate. Now, the animation is much more popular than reading comics, though. So how can I ensure that I'm making something entertaining in comic form?
Well,
it's a good question.
There's still a huge audience for comics. Really, that's much more of a discussion for marketing yourself. What's your brand? How consistent do you want to be about that? And where you're uploading it. There's a whole bunch of other questions, but that might be a whole nother discussion for another episode, because I could talk about marketing for a long time.
True. I mean, there's a ton of comic artists in our server, and there's a whole section for comic duels and all that. And it's pretty popular. It's not. I mean, it's definitely not as popular as animation, but yeah, it does get traction if you are talented.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
The two bubbles for comics and animation and other media is a lot closer than you might think. I ran a comic and card store for years, and my buddy wrote comics for a living. And a few of his comics, actually two of them, were or maybe still are being turned to actually animated shows. So if your thing is making comics and that's what you are inspired to do, and you have dreams and aspirations of them becoming animated, just doing your thing may inspire other people that enjoy your work and maybe are good animators that may want to collab and make that come true. So, it might be closer than you already think to that reality, even if it's not your hands trying to make that crossover by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pardon me. There's 2 donations, both questions towards Stone.
Oh.
Me? Whoa!
MCU Bryce donated $2. Said, "Hey Stone, can we animate your OCs you made?"
Yeah, 100%. So my whole thing on the Stones RHG universe is essentially my same philosophy of the original RHG. I want any of these characters, if they speak to you, I want you to play around with them. If their identity or their ability excites you, nothing makes my day better than seeing fan art with different interpretations, little shorts of them, little snippets here and there that builds everything out. I decorate my little workspace and everything about what I do with those kinds of things. Prime example, the 2 god characters are Neptune and Ultra Savior. The user Queenly, who I actually put the art up on my stream of that they did of Andre, which is another, my character. They did fan art of Neptune and Ultra Savior. Now those are the 2 side banners on my stream. So they're supposed to be vessels, in my mind, that get you excited and get creative to use them as a tool to not only feel like you're a part of something and you're a part of building out this world, because you are. When you're adding to that, you then in turn are showing other people a different perspective on that character. And that feeling that you're getting, that excitement that you have to do that, that's the whole point. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love your whole thing. Sorry, I just want to compliment Stoner and his whole TikTok thing.
That's my whole thing.
I was very doubtful when you first told me about it. I was like, that you're gonna get burnt out on that so hard. But
I'm surprised that you're still going through that.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah,
what's really cool to see is you're still so motivated about that idea after spending already so many days, weeks, and hours on just creating
I'm
a
more
whole bunch of
motivated.
new characters. It's so cool.
Yeah.
To see.
I'm more motivated. I have had this. That's why I did 3 streams a day, because I'm waking
That's
up.
crazy. I never do
I'm
more
eating,
than
sleep,
one.
and drinking it. I'm waking up and I'm like, yo, I'm so excited. I can't wait to get on. And I have no idea what I'm going to make, because each one is completely unique. So I have no framework, but there's something exciting about that process. And I like showing that when I'm live, I'm doing completely raw. People are seeing me sit there and struggle for 20 minutes, just drawing lines and moving stuff around and not really knowing what I'm doing. I think showing other people that could be inspired by your work, that it isn't just a straight shot to success, is inspiring on its own. So I like showing that part of it, that I don't know what I'm doing. And maybe the net result that you would usually only see looks like something you're like, wow, that's so well crafted. I think there's a value in seeing the train wreck that leads up to it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wait, tell us, Stone, would you rather keep making OCs or work back in the garden?
I'm
You
doing
have to choose
both.
one.
I'm living the dream. I'm doing both right now.
But if you had
I
to
water in the
choose-
morning. If
you
I
had to
had
choose
to
one.
choose, I'll, as usual, for the last 20 years, I'll sacrifice sleep and do them both. I'll just
Nope,
not
can't do
sleep
that.
and I'll do them both.
Nope, gardening
He's
your
crazy.
stick figure. Gardening
I-
your
I
stick
could-
figure. Plant. Are you going to choose a pathetic, little, dirty, green piece of shit? Or are you going to choose these
No.
awesome,
You have-
epic stick figures
dude,
with
you have
superpowers,
no-
and weapons, and abilities?
I don't know. I get so many ideas from plants, dude. I love plants.
Capitan Dalico donated 50 MX. I don't know what that is, but
Yo.
for Stone, I saw you commented on a curious TikTok about Andre and Alpha. What do you think about the fact that some people ship them? I'm sorry, in quotes.
Well, I didn't know that at all. I think it's very funny. I've never seen this like relationship culture in this space, and at least I don't know. Maybe I've avoided it, but for at least 15 years, I never once saw anything like it. I go back and forth because I'm like, wait, that's weird. What? But then at the same time, I'm like, okay, well, who am I to if they're being creative and this brings them joy and it does not harm anybody, then I don't care. If something makes other people happy and you're not inherently hurting people and you think it's fun, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Responsible
I'm
answer.
cool with it.
I like that answer. PR trained.
Be not afraid.
There were a couple more donations, right? That I saw.
There's a couple more donations that just say Stone. $2 from XJag and then Hyron. 20,000 I don't ours.
Whoa.
IDR.
I think it's like
Indonesian
like
rupee?
Indonesian rupee. Yeah, rupiah.
Whoa.
Something like that.
Was he rich? That's crazy.
No,
That's crazy.
one of that is like 0.00006 US dollars.
Whoa.
Whoa,
Let's
number big though. That's cool. High
go.
five. Yeah. Shout out. Yeah.
Honestly,
Let's
I'd take
go.
those donations and make them seem really huge.
Yeah.
Just for the
Yeah.
act.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for the
In reality-
$20,000 IDR.
Oh, yeah.
In reality, it's like $1.
Number
Fraction
big.
of a
Yeah.
penny.
We've been getting a lot of
conversion
donations today, so appreciate all the donations, you guys. It's been very, very, very crazy.
All right, we'll do
today, you guys.
couple more questions, then we'll go and wrap things up. One from Serial Bulby. Hi, bud. He asks, what do you do if you come up with a killer idea but realize that it's too close or similar to an existing character or idea? I would say...
I have a good answer.
You go first. I usually go first. I want someone else to go first.
Okay, I'll go first because I actually saw something on this just recently. And, you know, if you scale back to the beginning of time, the vast majority of ideas have been touched upon or done in some way, shape, or form or another, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, part of the human process is you might even do something that has been created almost exactly the way that it was before. The example that I was looking at in this description was inevitably Beethoven's symphonies would have been written by somebody at some point. But the inflection of the notes, the delivery, maybe the slight pacing and tonal changes that could have made the world of difference is the difference. So your perspective on something, even if it's something that's already been created, is still so uniquely you that it can be completely on its own when it's in a concept that has been done time and time again. You know, the hero's journey is one of the most iconic story plot systems that have been used probably since the beginning of storytelling. And it's still, you're going to see more of the hero's journey once again, over and over and over again, to be vague, you know, but your perspective is so incredibly important. It is so incredibly powerful. You have no idea. It makes the difference.
Yeah. 100%. To kind of dumb it down.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to be inspired. You know.
Yeah.
Everyone is inspired from something. Don't try to hide it. Wear it with a badge of honor, a badge of pride. But come into it with the mindset of, I can do this, but I can make it better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah.
As well.
Don't worry too much about being original, because unfortunately you're never going to be original. You'll be original when you make it yours.
Yeah, man. Listen to the 4 stick figures that have 2 frames of animation on a MP4 roller coaster for 2 hours. Okay?
Like, hey, we're not the first people to invent a podcast, but like,
No.
I don't think I've seen this format anywhere.
And this is exactly the answer, right? Like,
Yeah.
oh, a podcast.
This podcast is
How original!
I know. It's like some white dude.
And then we're like,
some white
we're on a
dude
roller
listening to
coaster.
podcast. Wow. Yeah, no, I will say that's the one thing I love about this podcast is every single episode is so visually different that you could be like, oh yeah, remember the episode where they were on the volcano? Oh yeah, what about the episode where they were resurrecting Hyun? What about the one where he was a homunculus?
We were
Like,
in
you-
Minecraft
like-
Nether.
You're never gonna see that or hear that in any other podcast, and that's because we're not trying to make something entirely new. We're just doing it our way, and that's what makes it cool.
It's exactly the example. We're looking at it right now.
Yeah, we're on a roller coaster. Like, what other podcast does this?
It's crazy.
Oh man, I'll pull off one more. Sorry, I should have read through these while you were talking.
XJag just donated another $2 saying, I have yet to see the evil Dojo cast. Should we turn evil?
Oh, we
I
should
can
totally
try,
do
dude.
an
Yes.
episode where we're evil.
I'll try my best.
Oh my god.
I was already evil when you were gone, Antenna.
Oh yeah, no.
I fully embraced my evil side.
It took 50 minutes for you to become a dictator.
It's
No, I want to do an episode where we all swap places with each other, because I can do a really good Hyun impression.
What?
Yeah, I know. I don't think I've ever done it in
Okay.
front of you, but you'll find
I
out
was gonna
someday.
say-
News to me.
I just don't want to wear a hat. So Hatena, you're my only option.
Yeah. All right.
Evil.
Evil.
We were just the Warriors of
Yes.
ourselves for one episode.
Ray Janims asks another question. Would you like to see different forms of stick animation other than fights? If someone was able to pull it off, do you think it would be cool to see an analog horror?
Ooh, yeah,
Like
horror.
analog
Dude,
stick
horror.
animation.
Yeah.
I'll say
Wow, who is that?
the horror genre is like the hardest to pull off, in my opinion.
Yeah, I've heard it's the easiest one in film, but in animation, I think it's so much more difficult.
It's hard to have that
Tafari.
sense of. Oh, Tafari! Yeah.
Tafari
That's
is
a good
like,
one.
I think that's really close to what you're probably looking for, Mr. Ray Janims. This is a
Oh, fan.
Duelist demo.
Oh my gosh.
Kale's Duelist. And this is kind of I don't think they ever really did much with it, but the idea is kind of there.
I think the hardest kind of emotion to pull off when you're animating something is anxiety, and that's
Yeah.
I think raising someone's anxiety in an animation, like while they're watching the animation, is the hardest thing to do, but it's like the most satisfying thing to do if you can pull it off.
I got just the thing. Turquoise's 20 Seconds to Die on YouTube is turquoise
Oh.
gross thing.
No. Oh
Dude,
my
that
god.
That's
one. Dude,
I wouldn't
that
call
one.
that horror. I'd call that just
Score.
disturbing.
This
Yes.
Wait, no. It's no,
Oh.
sorry. That is that,
Ye-
but it's actually Kill Crazy J on his
Yeah.
account.
Oh.
On his account, it's just called Gross Thing
Yeah.
on his
Oh my-
videos tab.
I know
Can we
exactly.
even
It's
show
no
that,
perfect-
dude?
You could show half of it.
They're stick
it's-
figures. They're stick figures.
Okay. Gross.
It's-
They're just stick figures, you guys.
Enjoy the ride. If you're
I wonder
like
if
10, cover your eyes. Don't tell your parents. We showed you
If you're
this.
10, you're not supposed to be here.
Yeah, if you're 10, you're not supposed to be
Wait,
here
if you're 10, fuck.
Yeah, fuck shit, fuck.
Where's your mom, bro?
Language, Lone Star. Sorry about that. Damn, dude.
God,
Like
I'm
freak.
trying to
Gross thing. Gross thing is what it's
find
called.
this.
Oh, man.
So it's
What?
called
Is it not
Gross
showing
Thing?
up? It's
Yeah,
called
I
Gross
can't find
Thing
it.
on
Oh, there's
Turquoise. I got you.
Trypophobia. Sorry, people.
I got you. I'll get it.
Okay.
I have it like
Honestly,
on.
isn't it-
While you're
I
getting
have it on
that,
tap.
I wanted to show something that has genuinely, like, this is a video that it is technically animated, or actually no, it is fully animated, but it looks realistic because this guy is crazy. Let me pull it up. But when I
Enjoy.
first saw this video, I literally couldn't watch it all the way through because it gave me such a core level of fear that I have never felt before.
No way. Can we
You're
watch
hyping it up, bro.
Oh, we can watch it. Yeah, no, there's no gore or anything in it. And people who know this, they will be very happy to see this. But I'm just gonna play it. You guys recognize this? Does this ring any bells?
No.
This looks
Was
like
this
me heading down to the
Minecraft?
mines. Yeah, I'm heading down to the
Sorry.
mines right now.
It's like the back rooms.
Yeah, this looks like Stone's mine shaft when we were
Yeah,
playing
this is me going down the
Minecraft.
mine
Yeah.
shaft. I'm about to get some diamonds. Yo, I'm getting some
Oh, wow.
diamonds. I'll be right back.
To see if I could find it.
So this is a staircase. This guy's going down a staircase that is like miles below just a random tree in a field. Like
you do.
It's just a hole under a tree. And he climbs into it and there's just a staircase, and when he gets there, it's a mall.
Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Never mind. I know what this is. This is actually scary.
Oh yeah, no. I was terrified watching this, but this is all fake. Like this is all animated. in Blender.
That's cool. That's cool.
Wait, link that so I can watch it later.
Yeah. I'll drop a link in chat, but I want to see. Oh yeah, chat got it. It's Kane Pixels. This is by the same guy who made the back rooms, but this is not the back rooms.
Oh, interesting.
This is the oldest view.
Oh wait, I remember this thing.
Yep.
Go to the part. Go
freaking
to the
mall
popular
thing.
part.
Yep. I'm just gonna turn the volume on. I'm gonna turn the music off. One sec. And just get yourself immersed.
Wait, this was animated?
Yep. This is all fake. All Blender.
I didn't even know that.
100% Blender.
No, that looks like a mall.
Boom.
That scared the shit out of me.
Rolling giant.
Yep. The rolling giant. And I'm not gonna spoil too much, but he moves. I will say that.
You. Icky.
But like, this whole video is 46 minutes long. It
Damn.
is the most bone-chilling thing I have seen in years. It created something I've never felt before, and I love it.
I think that's the key to make something super scary is if they can keep your anxiety up there and not just like cheap jump scares. Just always keeping you on your toes, like when you think something's going to happen, but it kind of doesn't. It just keeps you paranoid
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing.
I found this one growth.
There weren't a lot of jump scares. There were definitely jump scares in that video, but most of it was just the environment. Like he has such.
Yeah.
Kane Pixels is a master of environmental storytelling. So cool.
That's cool.
I'm gonna pull this thing.
I didn't know it was the same.
There's no music, so and I think the sound effects are kind of like the same thing.
Oh god, yeah. This is just this. Dude.
Oh boy. I'm gonna.
No, Cliff, stop here!
Okay.
Cool.
I didn't know what to expect, man. I'm sorry.
The worst.
Oh, well, thank you all for watching.
Have you not seen that, bro? Oh
yeah, we're gonna cut that out, bro. We're
I
gonna
don't
cut
think I've
that out.
seen that in a long time.
Bro,
Okay.
that's like what I want to be in terms of gore.
Hang on, I need to find stuff. But yeah, remember
Good animation.
Dojocast Channel. New Dojocast Channel.
Yeah, do that. Click it.
We have one more episode that we're doing on this channel, the one that you're on right now. That will be this next Saturday. And then from then on, we're moving on to the new channel. So please get us up to 1,000. We'll do a Minecraft episode, and someone will die per suggestion. Whatever we promised. But yeah, please go check it out. Go subscribe. We're currently at 392.
Whoa, 92.
Whoa,
Dude, we were at 360 at the
I
beginning of this
know,
episode.
It's crazy. Yeah, so please share it around as well. We really want to see how big this Dojocast thing can go. And
Dude, people
we can't
actually
do it
listen
without you
to
guys. It's weird, right?
That's
I want to
crazy.
I want to see one video of somebody bringing their phone to their mom and be like, "Mom, you need to subscribe to the Dojocast. It's right here on YouTube. Please, thank you." One person IRL telling their mom, "Please, thanks."
Yeah, just one person. That's all we need. We
Just
just
at least
want
one.
mom.
I need at least one.
Can
That's
we
all I
get
want. I
one?
want one.
Can we get one mom to follow the Dojocast?
I need one mom. I need one mom to know about it. She doesn't even need to follow. She just needs to be like, "What?" And then that's it. But she has to know. Somebody do it, please.
Yeah.
Just don't show them what happened just for like 3 minutes
Yeah.
ago. Just,
Yeah,
it's not that
don't
close.
show them episode
Don't show
51.
that. Yeah.
Don't show the help episode,
You
please.
fill out the 51.
Oh yeah, that
Oh,
one.
man.
Yeah, that one too.
We are a
Alright.
car, dude. Don't.
Well, thank you all for watching. Stone, you want to see us out?
Yes, please. You little goobers, leave a comment. Have something
You
remember.
mother
You
fuckers.
Look at me. I'm pointing at you. Leave a comment. I got nothing going on. I need to read
I will
them,
time
okay?
you out if you don't make a comment.
You need to
You
time
understand
out.
me?
He's gonna
Do it right
weaponize
now.
the timeout button. All right, leave something that you remember. Okay, say I called you a goober. I don't care, man. I gotta read it though. Okay, and next week, we're gonna be having our guest that we didn't want to have on the roller coaster this week. Next week, right?
Maybe. I don't know. No promises.
Okay, no promises,
see.
but be here next week, you little goobers. Bye.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
You heard him.
Happy Sunday.
Bye.